While the workplace isn't necessarily deemed as unsafe or dangerous place, these folks have jobs that flip the script on its head. The people you're about to meet go to work every day, not sure if it's gonna work out, seeing as some of the jobs they do aren't the safest of professions. From those who look criminals in the eye on a daily basis to those who battle big adversaries on the deep ocean seas, here are the most dangerous jobs in the world. Hey guys, this is your host, American Eye, but today I'm on Titanic bringing to you another cool video. Number 17, Street Sweeper. Now we're not just talking any old street sweeper, because here in America, that job isn't all that dangerous. But head to Rwanda and you'll find that it's not only a dangerous job, but it can also be a scary one too. Women are employed to sweep the streets from sun up to sundown, even the busy highways. No signs are put out to alert drivers of these women, they just do their job, sometimes in the dark, as cars fly by. Most drivers don't even give them extra room as they drive by, and some of the women are missed by inches. The pay for such a job? It's around what's equivalent to $70 a month. Number 16, Stuntmen. Stunt women, stunt dogs, stunt anything. Stunt people make all the ridiculous, dangerous looking parts of Hollywood movies look awesome. But while doing so, they put their lives on the line. They'll crash cars, light themselves on fire, jump from buildings, take unbelievable beatings time and time again, just to get the right scene. Proper preparation is necessary to ensure a stunt person's safety, and sometimes their work just still goes wrong. Number 15, Alligator Wrestlers. Working with wild animals comes with an element of danger, different from many other jobs. These animals are unpredictable, and you may never know when they just might strike out and cause some seriously bodily harm. These folks face horrible injury and look death in the eye day in and day out, all to please crowds of people hoping that something crazy might happen. Number 14, Power Workers and Utility Linemen. The workers you see hanging out high above the ground on power lines face a very real, very scary kind of danger every day. Working with electricity can be terrifying. Luckily, they're trained well at what they do, but one wrong move and it could be their last. Luckily, they wear professional protective equipment such as rubber gloves, bucket lines, protective blankets, and rubber sleeves, but from time to time, accidents still happen. Add the electricity and the heights together, and you got yourself one dangerous job. Some even get flown in on helicopters and do their work while hanging from it. No wonder they go through an apprenticeship and a 4-year training program to do what they do. Number 13, Firefighters. This is pretty self-explanatory, but a lot of people these days just forget how much danger firefighters put themselves in every day. They can easily be burned, inhale smoke, be pinned in from a falling structure, suffer heat exhaustion, develop asthma or cancer, get tired from all the calendar shoots, get scratched while saving cats from trees, among many other things. They also face mental effects as well, such as having to deal with not being able to help certain people in dire situations and dealing with the mass casualty events. They often develop PTSD and suffer many adverse effects from their hectic, all-over-the-place work schedules. It's more of a dangerous job than one would think, and it's easy to forget just what these guys see and do on a constant basis. Number 12, Roofers. This may not sound all that dangerous, but take a second to consider some of the things roofers face on an everyday basis. Usual hazards of the position include things like terrible sunburns, falling from some pretty intense heights, and other things. We also don't really think of all the possibilities such as heat stroke, electrocution, burns from scorching hot tiles and tar, as well as chemical exposure from volatile tars. They don't get paid much for what they do, and they face danger every day. Number 11, Police Officers. Not only do police officers have to deal with people who could potentially harm or even kill them, but they also have to face many other dangers while on the job that we don't even consider. Many of them drive around all day, watching out for crime, which puts them in danger of being injured or worse in car accidents. They also have to stand outside their vehicles when talking to and ticketing drivers, which puts them in a precarious situation. They often suffer train injuries, sleep deprivation, PTSD, significant stress, and more. Between 2005 and 2015, an average of 144 police officers lost their lives in the line of duty every year. It's definitely not the safest job in the world. Number 10, Astronauts. Yet another job that's no big surprise to see here. Astronauts face many dangers on their missions that would scare the bejesus out of any reasonable person. They have to face obvious issues when up in space, like their shuttle failing them just getting there, and dealing with space debris that travels over 22,000 miles an hour. Only slight contact with any debris could be catastrophic to vehicles, suits, shuttles, or anything else it were to come into contact with. They also face dangers like the possibility of running out of oxygen, radiation, severe isolation, and depression. Did you know that lack of gravity can also negatively impact humans' cardiovascular systems, muscles, and bones? Well, now you do. Number 9. Slaughterhouse meat packaging workers. Those who work in slaughterhouses or the meatpacking industry are very susceptible to work-related injuries and face a plethora of things that can cause them problems every day. They deal with dangerous equipment and live terrified animals. They're exposed to all kinds of animal feces and blood and are made to work in conditions where they can barely breathe. They also slip on wet floors, suffer from musculoskeletal disorders, and are often exposed to deafening noises. It's a job we never consider, but a job plagued with many dangers and much sadness. Number 8. Mechanics. While you don't tend to think of a mechanic when you think of dangerous jobs, they do face some on-the-job problems that can make an easy day at work something nobody wants to deal with. Not only do they work with dangerous tools and cumbersome big machinery, they're also exposed to various fumes and chemicals, especially hazardous ones. Exposure to these things can cause asthma, compromised immune systems, allergic reactions, as well as cancer and mesothelioma from dealing with asbestos. Whether it be an auto mechanic or one that works with fighter jets, this job can be dangerous and have lasting long-term effects. Number 7. Metalcrafters. Metalcrafters face the obvious dangers while working on the job, like working with large pieces of metal and heat. But did you know there are more dangers to the job than just that? They deal with all kinds of hazardous chemicals in their line of work, which leads to the potential for some pretty nasty short-term and long-term damage. Think cancer, mesothelioma, asthma, and much more. Sure, this seems like the perfect job for an artistic soul such as yourself, but you need to consider the dangers before committing your life to a position like this. Number 6. Search and rescue. This job is, on the surface, dangerous because the men and women go into dangerous situations to save people who can't save themselves. But they also work with equipment that can prove to be deadly or even cause serious injury. Working under these conditions is something that no one wants to do. Whether it's saving people from the sides of mountains, in an open ocean, or even on land, following natural disasters, these brave souls continually put themselves in harm's way. Not only do they have to fight treacherous environments, but they also have to battle the elements while doing so. It's understandable why this one is one of the most dangerous jobs around. Number 5. Landmine removal. There are plenty of jobs out there in the world that we'd rather have than this one. The military takes care of this job, but that doesn't make it any less dangerous. There are many former war-torn areas of the globe where there are a plethora of unexploded mines just lying around. That's when job openings in the private market open up, and that sets up all sorts of dangerous situations. According to the BBC, some estimate that there may be as many as 110 million landmines buried in and around 60 countries. So thankfully, someone's taking care of that job. Number 4. Taxi drivers. Have you ever even thought of how scary driving a taxi probably is? You have to allow people in your car that you don't even know and take them where they want to go. Physical violence is only one thing that these drivers face. That in itself is scary enough. Did you know that taxi drivers become victims of homicide between 20 and 30 times more than any other type of worker? They're also on the road every day, and that in itself puts them in much more harm's way than most people. The stress of the job can cause all sorts of mental health issues, and there are still those brave souls that do this for their living. Number 3. Mining. There aren't many jobs out there that have the ability to destroy your health quite like mining. Miners get things like black lung, progressive massive fibrosis, and COPD down the line. They also face many dangers in the mines every single day, like floods, cave-ins, chemical leaks, gas explosions, electrocutions, gas poisonings, and other things. They may be exposed to radon, mercury, and welding fumes, as well as being exposed to significant amounts of potentially damaging noise. Back in 2010, 33 miners were trapped for 69 days, 2,300 feet or 700 meters beneath the surface of Copiapo, Chile. Mining is a risky business, and it fits right here on this list. Number 2. Deep-sea fishermen. This is a classic dangerous job that's been on the top of the list for quite some time now. These guys and gals have to deal with open, scary seas with nowhere to go when things get out of control. They also have to contend with stuff like horrible storms, long nights, extreme cold, and lots of large, heavy equipment that could injure themselves too. We're sure you've seen a lot of dangerous jobs already, and we still have the most hazardous job ahead of us. But first, we'd like to ask you, do you have a dangerous job? What are some of the problems, challenges, and hazards you face every day in your workplace? And number 1, a lumberjack. The logging industry is relatively well known for being a really dangerous industry to work in. But what exactly can go wrong in this line of work? Well, they have to deal with massive trees that can cause all sorts of problems and also work around heavy machinery as well as sharp tools. This combination sounds bad, and it can go terribly, terribly wrong. That's why these guys have the most dangerous jobs around. We mean, have you ever seen American loggers? Wow, now that was a cool video. You guys want to see more cool videos? Check out my channel over here, American Eye. We'll see you there.